I just wrote this out so you can read it. I'm gonna try some. I'm gonna try some of this sugar. I think they're really sweet. But then what's crazy is because that makes it sweet too. So you know, I'm hoping to play with our best friends. Okay. What is this going to do?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Zion Lutheran Church, where we serve Christ by sharing God's love. Love to hear the conversation going. That's awesome. I know a lot of it was going on in the gym. Great meal. I only got a little taste, but thanks to, well, I think they're all cleaning up, but obviously thank you to Maddie and Shostrand family for helping put that on. It's fantastic. Hey, just a few announcements for you as we get started here this evening. I wanted to draw your attention. Obviously, we keep Dan Hansen and family in our prayers with the passing of Mimi. I just want to let you all know her funeral is going to be on the 25th, Saturday the 25th at 11 o'clock. So you can put that on your calendar if you're able to come and support Dan and family in that. Upcoming events, we've got the Timberlake Lodge pool party on the 26th. So that is open to the congregation as well as families. So you'll see there's a 4 to 6 open to all, and then a 6 to 8 for middle school and high school youth. So that is a great tradition we have. It's always historically been a lot of fun. So get everyone to go down the slide and That's the only thing I really remember every year is that slide is not built for anyone over 6 feet. But you got to go down it once anyway. So look forward to that. If you're interested in the Holy Land trip at all coming up next year in January, and you'd like to have a little conversation about it, just get a little bit more information, please note that after Sunday's service, this coming Sunday, we're going to be doing a presentation here. We've got a little delay. We've got to wait for Pastor Lisa to come from Bethany to join us for it. But we'll meet in the music room at about 11 o'clock and just kind of do a little Q&A and talk about why we're doing it, why it's important to us, and why we think it'd be valuable for you guys. If you missed that, you can join us out at Bethany then the following week. So I'll be hightailing it out there the following week on the 26th. Giving Tree is Second Harvest, so thank you for that extra additional giving support there. And then as we close announcements, we'll invite Wade up, and he's got a coffee announcement for you.
Yeah, good evening. I just wanted to let everybody know that the coffee shop is changing each week. It's going to become a more permanent fixture. We're now offering things like lattes, macchiatos, mochas, the foo-foo drinks as we used to call them. Espresso, which is my personal favorite. Do not say espresso around me. It's a personal pet peeve. I'm Italian. It's not an expression. It's pressed. Espresso. Obviously, it's still free, goodwill offering, whatever you want. But please, after service, come. Have us make you a mocha or a latte. And then I'm going to throw a challenge out to everybody. As this goes out further and we start opening on other days, bring a friend. Bring somebody into this church who doesn't know about it. Let them have coffee with you. We'd love that. I'm not necessarily the most friendly person, but Carrie is, and so yeah. But yeah, we it's to go. So you could even stop by and say, "Here's my friend. Give me the coffee. Let's go." I don't care. Just we want to make this really work. We want to make it as an outreach for as many people as we can. And we want to have you guys there. We want to have you. We are actually building a real counter. So if anybody wants to volunteer to help me do that, please. It'll be a real counter. Like I said, we have the espresso machines. I can teach you how to make those, so I don't have to. Things like that. So if you have any questions, stop by, say hi, and talk to me. And like I said, tonight after, if you don't mind the caffeine, by the way, espresso has less caffeine than a whole cup of coffee. Please feel free to have us make you something. Test us a little bit. Not a lot, but a little. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Wade. All right, again, so good to have you all here this evening for Holding Evening Prayer. As we begin, we'll invite you to open up the booklet, or hopefully everyone grab it on the way in, and we will begin this evening with the service of light.
Jesus Christ, you are the light of the world. The light of darkness is overcome. Stay with us now, for it is evening, and the day is almost over. Let your light scatter the darkness. our prayers come before you, O God, as incense, and may your presence surround and fill us, so that in union with all creation, we might sing your praise and your love in our lives. Amen.
Our reading for this evening comes from Matthew chapter 14. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" Jesus called a child, whom he put among them, and said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever becomes humble like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." Here ends our reading. And at this time, this evening, we've got our speaker is Mr. Dan Dupuy. If you've come on Sunday morning, you've probably been welcomed into church by now, as we're out here. So.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Dan Dupuy, for those of you that don't know me, and I'm here to share my faith journey this evening. So, growing up, I was born and raised in a traditional Catholic family. There were 9 of us, 5 boys, 4 girls, and I was the youngest, of course, and took brutal beatings from my brothers. But as a Catholic family, we went to Catholic grade school, Catholic high school for our education. And I know my parents would have hoped that doing that 12 years would have cemented my relationship with God in some way, shape, or form. But unfortunately, I didn't really make that connection at that stage, at that time in my life. For me, my Catholic education kind of just simply checked those boxes that Catholics feel that are so important. And it didn't really develop anything into a true Christian relationship, that I was looking for with the Lord. I guess it wasn't until I started dating and going out with my wife Gretchen that we got together with a high school priest that I had, and we did marriage counseling classes. And I would say around that time is probably when my faith journey started to build and become more strong. He basically connected a lot of the dots for me with regards to my relationship and the church. But again, a lot of that I felt was just check marks, those boxes, and I wasn't really getting that cemented relationship that I was looking for. And then early on in our marriage, we were going to a Catholic church, and we ran into some serious situations with our priests. And we had a priest that unfortunately ended up in trouble with the law and left, and we no longer had one at the church. And about 3 months later, we had a new priest that came, and everyone embraced him with open arms. And gosh, it wasn't probably 2 weeks after he came, my wife and I were eating dinner one night, and we had the news up on the television. We saw his picture. And without going into a long story, he too ended up having to leave the Catholic Church. So it was at that point, probably in our faith journey, that we decided, hey, maybe the Catholic Church just isn't the right thing for us. And we ended up having some good conversations with local pastors at our Bethel Lutheran Church in Hudson, Wisconsin, as well as talking with friends. And we basically realized that moving over into the Lutheran Church, that our faith journey was, so to speak, starting all over. I felt that it was very liberating, it was very refreshing for me. And I guess the biggest thing for me at that time was I was able to ask questions. Growing up in the Catholic Church, again, very structured, and you did not question anyone in the church. You just accepted it for what it was, and you went along your merry way. But being part of the Lutheran Church now, being able to ask questions really allowed me to strengthen my relationship and build on that with the Lord. Things were going along very well for us, and then unfortunately, back in 2014, we had something happen to our family that just absolutely rocked our family and struck us to the core. And it was an unfortunate situation where two of my nieces were brutally murdered. And their lives were taken by one of their husbands. And it was at that time that I was trying to draw on my faith, but I really began to question my faith again, and even asking, if there's a God out there, how could He have let this happen? Just that type of thing. And it was probably, I would say, for 2 months where I really went through a tough time. But again, our local pastor embraced the situation. We sat down and had many talks over things. And he told me, that it's okay, to question your faith. As a matter of fact, man, he goes, when you question your faith, you're growing in your faith. So question it, as much as you want. Another thing I remember him saying is, and I wrote this down, he said, Dan, you don't need to cancel your church membership just because you're questioning some of your beliefs. And that too really hit home for me. So time went on, and again, just through meeting with the pastor and having conversations, I was able to accept what had happened to my nieces, and things started to go better. He had given me an example back in the day where he said, a seed of faith is buried deep in the ground and has a shell of protection around it to shield it from the elements. And then, of course, as that seed starts poking up through the ground, it exposes itself to all the elements. It becomes vulnerable to the wind, to the rain, to the snow, to animals. But what really struck me was, he said, those roots are what keep it tethered to the ground. And the roots are very much like your faith. And your faith, just like those roots, are going to be tugged at times from the wind, or the rain may wash them out. But in all reality, that wind, that rain, it actually strengthens that seed, strengthens your faith. And it allows you to grow just like that tree, and actually withstand many challenges. So as a member of the Lutheran faith, it ended up being something that I really had a hard time with when these murders happened, and I struggled with it a lot, and I really had hate in my heart because of that. And again, my pastor helped me deal with that and change that hate into acceptance, not necessarily condoning it or approving it, but at least accepting it. And one of the verses that I found is in Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. And it says, truly, I tell you, unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. And for me, that was something that really struck a nerve. And I realized that, like a child, as an adult, I was having these horrible feelings and this hate in my heart, and I had to change. I had to become very much like a child who doesn't have those types of feelings going on. And it wasn't until I made that conversion to a childlike personality that things came around for me. So today, my faith is strong. I would say it's probably the strongest it's been, since I've joined the Lutheran Church. But I realize too that you can struggle at times, and it's okay. struggle with it and not necessarily have the faith that you're looking for. You can still experience Jesus' love in everything that goes on in your life. And the fact that you're struggling with faith doesn't necessarily mean you're struggling forever. It's okay to take a break, for example, and it doesn't mean that you're giving up on God. So that's, I guess, is pretty much my faith story and where I'm at today. And I very much appreciate the relationships that I've established here in this church as a new member. And it's become a great place of faith and hope for both my wife and I. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, I think the downside of the Lutheran Church is people question the pastor all the time. At this time, we'll continue with the offering.
Shines in the darkness.
And the darkness is not overcome.
Great and merciful God, source and ground of all goodness and life, give to your people the peace that passes all understanding, and the will to live your gospel of mercy and justice through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Amen.
God, remember us in your love and teach us to pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Save us from the time of trial, and deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen.
Let us bless our God.
Praise and thanks to you. May God, Creator, bless us and keep us. May Christ be ever light for our lives. Let us live with the love we are blind and glad for all of our days.
The peace of Christ be with you always.
And also with you.
Be sure to sign of peace with one another.